Welcome back to the Battle Between podcast. Sitting across from me is my good friend Floyd, who was here back in May of 2025, man. And while that seems, brother, like a short period of time, so many things can take place within that. Like, what's that, 9 months almost?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's a life change. People's life can change in that. What have you been up to for 9 months, 8 months, man?
So I'm in a completely different place than I was in May of 25. Currently, I'm the COO for a small company. We've grown from 4 to over 50 in less than a year. And like now, my journey is to become the mayor of McLendon Chisholm. Neither was on my radar in May of 2025.
Yeah.
I had a completely different path. But as we just talked about earlier, you know, when God speaks to you and say, hey, you need to take this step over here, you just have to trust in him, you know, have faith and move that way.
Even when you say, but we talked about this.
Right?
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
Are you sure we did talk about this?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I know, but.
You came in here and you explained to us that you were raised in the projects of Chicago, you know, the typical story of the gangs, the violence, the all those things. No one cares about the woe is me, right? So we'll dive into it. But you also laid a foundation that was strong. Your faith, your family, you didn't necessarily get along all the time, but they instilled some discipline in you that later defined who you were and who you are today. You know, you had your own battles in between your decisions between school and sports. You know, your father was a Vietnam veteran, so there's those conversations with how you ended up being as well. And then we found that you were like searching for some sort of structure, some sort of purpose. So you left college, and where'd you end up? The Navy, right? Came to be a SEAL, at first a technical sailor working on, what was it, radars and communications, things like that.
Radar satellite communications expert.
Yep. Had some setbacks, went through buds a couple of times. Most people do, from what I understand, if they come back. But then you served in some pretty significant combat operations, breacher, your leadership, your accountability, your integrity, all those things were tested and honed and structured to make you who you are.
Yes, sir.
And for our listeners who don't know, anytime you sign that contract, those are life and death situations, not for every military veteran, but for certain MOSs, some of us that have been to combat and some things like that. And then you had a motorcycle wreck, which mentally put you in a state where I recall the conversation went, hey, you get out of this doctor's office or this bed, hospital room right now with that bullshit.
Yep.
Because I'm going to make it back, right?
Yes.
So, and then really I took away from the first podcast was your simple belief in leadership, humility, gratitude, and the strength that you may not have had, but you built upon has made you who you are today. So how did you feel after leaving that podcast?
I mean, when I first left the podcast, I didn't feel like it was any different than the previous podcasts I've had before, with the exception of how structured you set the podcast up as, you know, as far as, you know, us getting together, you had very detailed, pointed assignments for me as far as like what you needed, the questions that you were going to ask. And so with that, I don't think I've ever done that with the podcast. I was like, man, he's really detailed. Like you know, I was pleasantly surprised when it came to that.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yes. The podcast itself, there was previous podcasts that I've had that I've talked about, you know, my past. But I've had time to process in a very positive light on how the effect of my growth over the last 30, 40 years to this day is like who I am. So it's appreciating those moments, that growth, right? Because I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be who I am today.
Absolutely.
But I think it was the best podcast where I was able to put it in a frame of mind where all the players could understand, right? All the players who who positively supported me, and all the players, even though they don't know it, who negatively supported me.
Haters feel the fire, right?
Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I thought it was, and that's really, but what was surprising was the impact that we made with that podcast.
Exactly why we do this.
My family, especially my church family, they would hit me up and say, bro, I listened to your podcast and wow, like, thank you.
Really?
And I'm like, what you thanking me for?
Man, that's huge.
Because they had a similar experience. They, similar situations.
Yeah.
And to put it the way that we put it and to be successful, for them to be successful, they were proud. Like, and this is really awesome.
That's great feedback, man. When I started this whole thing, it was never about recognition. It was never about, look at me, I got a podcast. It's about sitting down with men who I love and respect and have a story that impact people. Like sometimes in life sometimes in life you plant seeds, and it's a cliche, but you never see the tree grow. It's so true, man. With all the youth mentorship that you've done, we've done together, I've done, so forth and so on. So I'm excited to have you back, man. But I think we need to jump into why you're here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we do. But first, I want to express my gratitude to you.
Yes.
Because what we're going to talk about, your podcast it wasn't built for that.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you extending yourself and allowing me to share more about me and my next mission. I really do appreciate that.
You're welcome, first off. And number two, I told you I'm doing this for you because I believe in you, right? We've known each other for years. You've taught me things that you don't even know you've taught me just through conversation, right? Plant the seed, can't see the tree grow kind of thing. And there's never been one moment in any conversation or time we've spent together that I've ever questioned your loyalty or integrity. And in today's world, man, it's hard, brother. You know that, right?
I do.
I said something to my son the other day. We were talking about trust, and he said, I said, I've always told you as a kid, I'm going to trust you to give me a reason not to. And he said, let me put it to you this way. How about I'm not going to trust you until you show me I can trust you? And I was like, damn, that come from a 19-year-old, right? Like, did I do a good job? Maybe, I don't know. But it flipped the script on me, right?
Right.
And it made me think, that's kind of how it is nowadays, right? But to make my point, you're here intentionally because I believe in you. I believe in what you have to offer for our local government. I believe your integrity speaks. Your leadership, man, that's bar none. You've got a track record there. But in previous conversations that you and I have had, local government's never been in them. Hold that thought, right? Because you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. But what I think the listeners and the people that will watch this on, the video, YouTube and some other places like that, show me that roadmap that got you to here, right? What have you done that we need to know about to set you up for success?
I fought a few people for that in a good way when it comes to my involvement with local politics. And you're absolutely right. Local politics has never really been on my radar. When I retired from the Navy, about 2 years out, I was trying to figure out exactly like how I was going to continue to serve. I had a conversation with a previous congressman who saw me speak. He walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, have you ever thought about politics?" I laughed in his face, and I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely not. I would never consider doing that. And actually, this wasn't 2 years. It was literally 4 years.
After you got out of the Navy?
4 years before I retired.
Oh, okay.
And he said, well, him and his team, they're like, here's my card. You change your mind, give me a call. 2 years later, I come back to the States. I've been over Southeast Asia, and then I call him up and I said, "Hey, I want to. What is this about?" Because now I'm looking at my runway and how it's about to end, but I need a springboard to continue to serve. So he started mentoring me and educating me on federal politics. So then I took it to the Honor Foundation, which is a career readiness transition program. It's almost like a
what to do when you get out.
Graduate. It's like a postgraduate program. It's 4 months long. It's very intensive.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty in depth. It's and it's for special operations community and the people that serve in that community.
Yeah.
And what they do is they peel away your military onion to expose all your qualities that you have built over the years, over the decades, and they reframe it to where you are going to be a significant contribution to society.
So they're unpacking war skills, corporate skills.
They're unpacking your soft skills, right? They're unpacking your character integrity, your leadership, your organization, your discipline, all of that, and they helping you frame it so that you can be you can be sought after in the civilian sector.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because when I first met you, it was at some random Dallas networking event.
Yes.
And that's probably right about that time you got out, I think.
Yes. So, and with that, and it's in depth, because I had 2 coaches.
Yeah.
I had 2 mentors, and literally you had assignments where, okay, you have to have 50 coffees, meaning you have to have 50 meetings. Right. And then you have to give a debrief on what those meetings were.
Wow.
You have to learn how to, give a pitch. Right. You have to always have a bio like in your mind. So whenever you meet someone and you have that conversation, hey, what do you do? Right. This is who I am. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And then you have to position yourself. How can I help you?
It's almost like readiness training.
Yeah. Like, how can I help you, Jeff? Like, here's what I'm good at. Right, so it's having that frame of mind of I'm having a conversation with you because I want a position to help you.
Service mindset.
It's not I want you to help me.
Mm-hmm.
It's how can I help you? You know what? Give me your card. And then you do your debrief. You write down your notes. Jeff Skinner. This is what he loves to do. He has a podcast. This is what the podcast is about. And then when I meet someone who fits that criteria, I connect you to.
Man, when you have that mindset, it opens up so many different doors.
Phenomenal program.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I start the program. Hey, Floyd, what do you want to do? I want to run for Congress. They laugh at me.
Well, you laughed at it too.
They said, no way.
Really?
Absolutely not. Oh, yeah. There's no way you can run for Congress. You don't have what it takes. And I was like, okay. They're like, but we're going to do these assessments. We're going to see where you're at.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to the table. And then we're going to help you build a runway on what your purpose will be based off it, right? So when it all came back, there's like, this is actually a path that resonates with you.
And you had no idea.
I had no idea, right?
Until they started peeling the onion.
And then from there, it was game on. They connected me with an organization called Hill Vets. I went to D.C. For almost a year. I became a legislative fellow for a North Carolina congressman. Right now, I'm on the back end of, and what was great about my command in the Navy was they allowed me my last year to prep my runway to,
wow,
right, which is
unheard
unusual.
Of. Yeah,
very unusual. So much love to Naval Special Warfare for that. But I go to DC, and then I'm working underneath the chief of staff, who's still a great friend of mine, and he's basically throwing me in the fire, to learn the craft.
How uncomfortable was that for you? You're a pretty mellow dude, man. I mean, I know what you're capable of, but the surface says Floyd's a mellow dude. So how uncomfortable was that?
It was, the uncomfortability was, if I'm going to represent this chief of staff or this congressman correctly, when I've been assigned to go to meetings to represent him, or them, or I go to committee meetings where I have to be prepped to speak on his behalf, right? What his agenda is. Like that was the challenging part. Being in the room, having conversations,
not a problem, huh?
Wasn't a problem, because for the last 7 years up to that time, I'd done public speaking, right? I'd been in leadership roles in my team and in other countries, right? Working with foreign leaders and doing training missions, real world missions. So none of that was uncomfortable for
You
me.
weren't worried about that.
It was making sure that I represented who had the trust in me. I mean, when I walked in day one, hey, what do you want to do? I want to learn the craft. Okay, well, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to these meetings. You're going to go to these committee meetings. Oh, by the way, you're going to sit on these meetings with me, and I'm going to introduce you like right out the gate, brother.
No better way though, right?
There was no like, okay, we'll prep you. So now I'm just like, how do I preserve your trust that you just dumped on me?
Man, you know what I'm hearing right there is a perfect indication of what you're shooting to do right now. Is you are representing other people at all times throughout your career.
Yes.
You represented the Navy. You represented your brothers, your team, congressmen, whatever it was. You've always represented somebody else, which is it's a significant point.
So now I leave that position. I fully retire to Texas.
Yeah.
I become the Texas Attorney General I become the executive aide for the Texas Attorney General.
Okay.
Right out the gate, he understands my aspirations, and he's opening the door for me to learn state politics, right? So now I'm with him every day, hip to hip.
Much different than federal.
Much different than federal.
Yeah.
Right. But once again, he's allowing that trust to, hey, come on, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna give you access, and I'm gonna allow you to grow and learn. Right. I'm gonna embed you into my team, and the people on his team, chief of staff, they phenomenal.
Yeah.
For people. His protection. I learned a ton when it came to not only state politics, but also to like how to build relationships, right? How to get things done with people who you don't necessarily see eye to eye with, but you do have you want the same outcome, but there's different directions that you're trying to go to get there.
Yeah.
Right. But you still work together to get there. All of the small things that you really don't pick up and say, hey, well, this is what I learned today. Mm-hmm. So I did that for 2 years, and then I get a call asking me to run for U.S. Congress for District 32 of Texas. I'm living in Austin. District 32 is Dallas. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So here's what's interesting. A lot of this, I think, for young people, even older people, sometimes success comes from ignorance.
Ooh, wow.
Because here's it. I didn't know, right? I didn't know that it's unusual for a no-name, first-time candidate was supposed to be very challenging.
That's when you ran, right?
Yes. I didn't know, like, okay, I didn't live in the area. I moved to the area because no one was stepping up to run in the Republican primary for that district. So I get a call and say, hey, do you mind moving up here and running for the district? And I'm like, yeah, not a problem. Right. And that was one of the first challenges that I ran into, where people's like, well, you're not from here. Like, why are you? And I'm like, well, a gap needed to be filled.
Yeah.
No one was stepping up to run for this district. So why not me?
Yeah. You just were working the problem.
I've been serving for 25 years. I've been protecting you for almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
And now I just want to do it in this frame of mind. So tell me why I shouldn't be running for this district, right? And I know more about your district than you do.
Dude.
Right? And it's like, these are your issues.
Yeah.
These are how I would approach these issues from a federal level. And they're like, well, what about this? That's not a federal issue. However, I can position as your federal leader to assist in this matter. So it's those kind of short-sighted things that we have to educate our neighbors on, our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
It's, you have to be able to open yourself up to scrutinize Floyd. He showed up. He wants to be your leader. Is he doing it for the right reasons, or is he doing it for something else?
Unfortunately, I think that's human nature nowadays, is the pessimistic outlook, right? It is like, okay, that thing or that person or that place on the surface looks great, but what can I find to talk shit about with my friends, right? And unfortunately, I fell trapped to that many times. Not within the last couple of years, because I've removed myself from that scuttlebutt and those different things, right?
Company you keep,
man,
like,
and the
your inner
clarity
circle.
and the peace in your mind when you get away from that stuff is impactful, man.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
District 32, Dallas, running for Congress. What year was that roughly?
This was 2019, 2020.
Dude, that feels like not even that long ago.
No.
So here we are.
Now I run, first time no name candidate, bro. I raised over $1 million.
That's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive.
Is it?
Right?
From a guy like me that doesn't know.
From a political standpoint,
Yeah.
that's, especially considering that a lot of my financial support was shut down in Texas.
Yeah.
Right. But we're not going to get into all of that.
Yep.
It was a successful campaign that I didn't win. But throughout that campaign, I built relationships over here in District 4. That's about to turn into District 32. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I built solid relationships of supporters. And then the special election came up for District 4. And I get the call, hey, will you run for District 4?
What's District 4? Where's that?
That's us.
That's
well,
us.
It's about to go into District 30. We're about to change to District 32.
Which is probably a whole nother conversation.
But Congressional District 4 is Rockwall County, right? Wow. It was at the time, it's drawn differently now, but at that time it was 17 counties. So literally from Rockwall all the way across to the border, Texarkana, right?
Damn.
And yeah, it's a big.
That's a big one.
It's a big district, bro.
So it looks like, the Navy then running around and rubbing elbows with all these folks feels to me like it puts you in a situation just from a random resident of McLendon Chisholm to say this guy has experience not only talking the talk, walking the walk, but building relationships, which there's a whole gambit of things we can discuss here. And I want to focus this conversation on development and improvement, right? We're not going to get in the weeds about him or her or this or that. That's not who we are as people. Why mayor?
Why mayor?
Why bring it back home?
Well, I blame the former mayor, Keith Short, who became a good friend of mine.
Yeah, Keith, I hope you're watching this because we both blame you for everything.
Look, I'm going to tag him on it, right?
It's your fault, Keith.
I moved to McLendon Chisholm in 2021, and immediately, some people come to me and say, "Hey, we could use you, on city council," and I declined, and we had a one-on-one, and he's like, "Look, bro, this is what's up."
It's hard not to follow Keith. He's a good dude.
Right. He's like, we just need good people. I said, okay. Well, come to find out, I hadn't moved to McLendon Chisholm soon enough. So you had to be here, I think it was 6 months, right? And I was here like 5.5 months.
So you missed the boat?
By 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes,
yeah,
I missed it. And literally a seat opened up and it said, hey, we would love for you to join. And once again, it's all about having faith in God and the direction he takes you.
Yeah.
So, and it's about service. It's about filling a gap, right? Being a good brother, good teammate. Mm-hmm. This was a gap that needed to be filled. Why would I say no to that when I know I can make a contribution?
And what year was that when you got on the council?
That was 2023. Early 2023. And then, so I served on the council and, people got to know me as a city leader. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to step down in May of 24 because of some of the aspirations. May of 25.
Yeah, I was about to say it was 2
years. It was last year, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I built a plan to do other things, and it would have been a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm in this moment, and I'm looking at our current leaders that are supposed to be governing our city, and we're not in a place that we should be. And it's my assessment is because these leaders don't have the capabilities to get us there when it comes to one, understanding their primary role, and two is having the soft skills in order to navigate the environment to build the right relationships for McLendon Chisholm to develop and be prosperous over the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah, because a guy like me that lives here, I've been here 4 years, and I'll go into a little bit of that later on. But you know, there's been some like what moments.
Absolutely.
You know, that as a homeowner, a business owner in the area, I run my business in McLendon Chisholm. I live here, I shop here, I invest here. As a resident, man, there's some questions.
And when I was on city council, I got some blowback from, you know, certain people in the city on my voting and how I governed.
You're always going to.
But absolutely. But then when I left, it was, oh, now we understand. You know, like, you know, maybe Floyd wasn't as what I thought.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, he actually was a good city council member, a good leader, a good representation of what we need to do. You know, so sometimes people in the moment just it doesn't resonate. You just got to give them time, you know, for them to process and be like, you know what? You know, my assessment was wrong. Or like now I see, you know, that this is a deal, because I got a few calls asking, do you have an interest in running for mayor? And in the beginning, I'm like, no, not really. But then this is what did it, brother.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to get to.
This is what did it. One of the candidates stepped down from his position. This was the last week that you had in order to file.
Mayoral
right,
candidate.
Yeah, mayoral candidate. So he stepped down from his position on council as mayor pro temp to run.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, well, who else is running? And they're like, nobody, like just him.
That's never good.
And I was like, but this particular candidate is he had a big contribution to where our city is at right now in the state. And I'm like, there's no way we're going to do this for another 3 years. I said, he does not have a clean path to mayor. He's going to have to get through me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then that's when I was like, the American people, McLendon Chisholm, our city, like our surrounding cities around our county, right, our state deserves better.
So you saw a gap where you could protect people.
A huge gap, right? And it's like, well, this is what I do. So, you know, you're going to have to go through me, because you are not the representative that we need or that we want for the next 3 years. And if I don't step up and fill that gap, then I have no room to complain, right? And what I'm doing is I'm giving our people the opportunity, of a choice,
which is what voting is about.
It's like, hey, look, this is who I am. These are my skill sets. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm about. I'm giving you an option, right? And that's all I'm doing is I'm interviewing, saying, hey, I can do this job, and this is how I can do it.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the vision where we need to go. And I have the soft skills.
Yeah.
Right. I have the leadership skills. I have the discipline.
Yeah. You got a proven track record.
I know what my role is as a mayor. Mm-hmm. I know how to mentor and guide city council members so that they prosper in their position and that they stay on task. Right. I know how to bring a team together and structure it and complete a mission on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis.
I think that's an understatement, man, with your history, right? I hate to go back to it, but with the teams and just knowing some of my brothers are from the teams, that's elite level planning, bro. That's just an underestimated statement. You know what I mean? You had said something just a minute ago about governance and things of that nature. Like, you know, I think I have my own idea of this is what it should look like. And I think most residents have our independent ideas of, you know, what is a government when it's working? What does it look like? You know what I mean? And given that you achieve this goal you have, what does a working government look like to you? And how are you going to ensure that sitting around, talking to the council members, especially around the development that's taking place in our county, in our county, more importantly, you know, McLendon Chisholm, but what does the government look like when it works, and how are you going to make sure that the council's a team?
So as far as ensuring that's a stretch, right? You really can't ensure what any human being is going to do.
Yeah.
But positioned as a leader, you understand, okay, this is where we need to focus. The hard skills, the development piece, right? The approving of the plats, the ordinances, right? The
laws,
the laws.
Yeah.
That's the hard skills.
Yep.
That just needs to be executed.
So you're saying there's no problem with the process.
It's no problem with the process.
Gotcha.
If we follow the process, if we follow the comprehensive plan.
It's kind of what the purpose of them is.
Right? Kind of what the purpose is. That's easy because it's right there in front of you.
Check.
This is how we are supposed to govern.
Okay.
The difficulty is ensuring that the right people are in that seat that has the soft skills in order to do it. Do you have the ability to properly lead
Gotcha.
a team? Want yourself. Let's just start right there.
I was about to say it has to start.
Let's just
with
start
yourself.
right there, right?
Yeah.
So how do I lead myself? Well, I educate myself. I understand like what my role is. As the mayor, it is my responsibility that we run operationally smooth on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But within that role, I have to make sure our city secretary has what they need in order to do their job, right? I have to make sure our city manager is set up for success, to make sure that they have what they need. Our fire chief, right? Like all of my people, I have to position to say, Jeff, all right, what do you need in order to get your, like, first off, Jeff, do you understand what your role is?
Yeah,
right?
I think we have to pump the brakes a little bit because
right,
the roles.
And then if you don't, okay, well, let's sit down and let's shore this up so that you're very clear on your role.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, based off of your role, what do you need from me so that you can be successful in that role? Right. So that's number 2. 3. Okay. How do you see? I have a vision on how I'm going to set up the communication between different entities within my team, right? Within secretary, manager, fire, city council members.
You're talking internal right
I'm talking
now.
internal, right?
Yeah.
Because this is where the problem is.
So that's where you're hitting the nail on the head.
Right. We don't, as a city, our leaders don't know their role.
That's terrible. That's a failure.
So it's coming in and say, hey, let's define your role, which is already defined, but let's make sure you understand it.
Yeah.
And let's make sure that you know what resources you need, and let's provide those resources for you. Now, let's set up an environment to where we can all effectively communicate to get things done.
Yeah.
So that's where I come into play. That's where we ensure that we move correctly as a city, right? As being protective of our constituents.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now that we all understand that, and we're effectively communicating, and we've built this team, and it's not about agreeing all the time. It's just about us having the emotional intelligence.
That's key. Yeah.
Right, to effectively communicate, to have the ability to be resolute, right? So conflict resolution, right?
That's a key leadership role. Key.
Right? What other person would you want in a position of to deal with conflict than a Navy SEAL?
A Marine, but
right.
We'll give you that. I had to tell the jab.
Oh, that hurts. That's a good one, right? But it's understanding, like, you have to have certain soft skills.
Yeah, without question.
And then you have to be able to maneuver your people for success.
Well, there has to be some synergy there, man. You know what I mean? And I think you're right on. You're not always going to agree, but there has to be excuse me, there has to be an element of respect to say, you know what, Floyd, I'm not with that. Here's why, but I can see where you're coming from. That's how grown-ups have conversations.
Right.
Right. And instead of like, I'm going to take my ball and go home. And I'm not just talking about our city or council. I'm just talking about grown-ass men nowadays do that. You know what I mean?
That's not grown-ass men.
Exactly. And it's not. So I think I think you're speaking all these things through experience, which is
absolutely.
I mean,
and there's more, brother, because
Yeah.
now that you've built your team and they're effectively communicating, they have emotional intelligence. So now it's like, okay, well, what should we be accomplishing? Well, do you know exactly what the comprehensive plan states? Right?
how long is that document?
All right, bro. I have it right here.
So it's multiple pages of information.
Hundreds of pages, bro.
Hundreds.
Yeah. It's about that thick front.
So
and
you
back.
got to break that down almost into continual training.
So once you learn the comprehensive plan, so here's
It doesn't change.
I'll give a tip to I'll give a tip.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So
But
here's
it's a guide.
but it's a structure, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: once you understand what the plan is,
Yeah.
right, now you have to think, okay, this was built, like this was created during this time. Are we currently still in that time when it comes to development? When it comes to like how development's impacted? No,
And that's what I was trying to. Maybe that's how I should have worded
right?
it. Yeah.
But if we're not, okay, how do we adjust so that we still are compliant with the comprehensive plan, but understanding that the landscape is changing, right? The parameters are changing, the percentages are changing. How do we shift to still stay on track with the comprehensive plan, right? But it's having that ability to have that vision.
You take it right back to a battle plan.
And
right?
this is where I come into play. It's like, look, as the mayor, let's sit. Do we all understand a comprehensive plan? All right. Jeff, what don't you understand? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's shore this up. Right. So now we all understand. Okay. So this section of the comprehensive plan, Jeff, I want you to primarily be responsible for. Right. Yeah. Now, based off of what's in the comprehensive plan and our state currently, I need you to do some research and figure out how do we systematically grow with the changing of the environment to still support the comprehensive plan. Yeah. Right. We're not doing that.
So you're essentially telling me, like, to answer my question, what does a city look like when it's functioning properly? It's alignment.
It's your city leaders and your team in alignment, executing the hard skills.
Yeah.
Right. So the hard part is getting your team to that fluid, that fluid working environment. And here's the thing. It's what we agree on behind closed doors. When we walk out that door, we're in alignment. The message is the same. Man. Right? Yeah. If we walk out that door and the sky is red, what color is the sky? The sky is red. Well, no, it ain't. It's blue. We have determined as a team that the sky is red, right? And you ask every single individual, the sky is red, and they own it as if it's theirs. It's not, well, yeah, I lost that, that vote. I think it was blue, but we are going with red. So now you just completely undercut your team's authority, your city leader's authority. And that's where the trust comes into play.
Yes.
When you ask, right? Because there's two things that is needed with trust: consistency and time.
Wow. Yeah, dude.
You have to be consistent in your communication. You have to be consistent in your actions. And the only way it's going to be, trust is going to be earned is over time you maintain that consistency.
Bro, that's gold right there. I wish someone would have told me that when I was 20. Straight up, right? Because you work so hard to build trust over an extended period of time. And let's be real, it takes 2 seconds to ruin it. Marriages, relationships, businesses, sports teams, I mean, you name it, right?
Absolutely.
It's crazy. Wow, that's huge. Let me ask you something. While it came up while you were talking about like alignment and focusing and things like that. Where do you feel like McLendon Chisholm right now should focus, like right now?
We should focus on McLendon Chisholm should focus on our development and infrastructure.
without
right?
question as a resident.
Without question as a resident, right? We should focus on our taxes, right? Our revenue that's coming into the city. The budget is a big one, bro. Like that's, probably, number one is one, we got to get our budget. We got to get our budget set up properly because it's a mess right now. So when you, and that plays into our development, right? That plays into our infrastructure. And with all of that, also, I've assessed that our neighbors, they don't want to be a part of McLendon Chisholm community events or anything of that nature where we come together as a community to thrive and get to know each other.
You're talking the other cities in Rockwall County.
I'm talking about us, McLendon Chisholm. From the canvassing that I'm doing, our constituents are just, they're like, look at all this visceral action that is going on, social media, behind closed doors, like over here, over there. I don't want to be a part of that.
That's because the frustration has turned into fatigue.
Right. So it's developing us to where we get them back to like, I am looking forward to going to City Hall event to do, like, I am looking forward to, the Christmas tree lights, and I am looking forward to Veteran Day to go out and, pay, those kind of things.
Yep.
It's just getting that love and vibe back into the community to where we can actually, come together and don't have to worry about all the visceral things that are going on. But that starts at the top, my brother. That starts with us as leaders to show, hey, this is how we're supposed to be conducting ourselves. This is how we show love to each other, right? Yeah. This is how we work through conflict in a respectful, kind manner, right?
Man, you're speaking to me right now, because when I moved to McLendon Chisholm 4 years ago, I never once thought, I made it. I'm going to McLendon Chisholm. I thought, there's a property on a corner, I can build a shop and put a flagpole on. Right. I'm telling you, that's the basic Marine mentality I had. Whatever goes on inside our home, my wife deals with, right? I wanted a shop and a flagpole, right? But I've noticed myself as a resident, I'm very reclusive to anything going on, because like I was saying, like my frustration has really turned into fatigue. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And in my chapter, I'm just going to cut it off, But that's not the right thing all the time.
But that's most of our constituents. They're like, look, I'm trying to raise a family, right? I'm trying to provide for my family. If I'm gonna spend extra time on something, I want it to be enjoyable. I want it to be something that feeds my soul, that's uplifting.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna. That's most constituents. They're like, I don't want to go over there and deal with that crap.
I mean, right? And that it's. I hate to say it, but man, it's right, dude. It's like, coming from a guy who pays taxes, runs a business, raises my family in this town, I feel that, and it's speaking to my heart, because I'm a service guy myself, like you. You said we're on this earth to serve, right?
Yes.
You've said that to me numerous times, and it's even documented on
even
my last
when we don't want to, brother.
Exactly.
Even when you're saying, hey, bro, I think you should do this. Jeff, I don't want to do that. But I'm telling you should do this. I'm like, no, Jeff. And then I sit back and I'm like, man, Jeff is right. And it's just submitting to what, God has put you on this earth to do. He's saying, look, your gift, and I'm phrasing it as if God's talking to me. He's like, look, your gift is to lead and serve, right? And also you have, like, I have a really good gift in reading rooms, right? He's like, that's your gift. And then he's like, you're going to serve, you're going to use that gift and you're going to serve over here. God, I want to go, but I want to serve over here. Nah, that's not the plan right now. You need to serve over here. And it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Local government, hey, you need to, right? It just keeps coming back, and you don't learn the lesson until, right? And like the lesson keeps coming until you accept it and learn from it. Yeah. And in my life, like over the last 2 years, this local government leadership
been a constant for you.
It keeps coming back, right? And I'm like, for real? And I'm, all right, I submit, let's do it.
Yeah. And you're all in. Like,
oh, absolutely. Like, yeah. Once I say I look, boom,
yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah, and that's why I've gravitated towards you for so many years, because like if you're in, and I'm the same way. I mean, the core values of my business are the acronym of BOAT. I don't need to go into them, but it'll tell you I'm not a 1 foot in the boat, 1 foot out the boat kind of guy.
Right.
And that I don't want to surround myself with people like that. When I think about leadership, I'm gonna get real tough with you right here, because I know I can. Mm-hmm. Because this is being a leader, military career, all kinds of different things in the community. Like yourself, we're both connected to a lot of different things. And I always hear the bullshit of, well, we need better leaders, or leadership will fix everything, right? And to some degree, it absolutely makes sense with the proper action and intent, right? But when I moved here 4 years ago, I told myself, I'm not going to do nothing in this town, right? I'm going to just mind my business. And somehow I found my ass at city council meetings, and I found my ass at places where I probably shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And even my wife would tell you, dude, just stay home. No, there's stuff going on there. Let me ask you this, and no bullshit, Floyd. If leadership is really the difference here, like, what specific decisions or changes will you make that's going to change the trajectory of this city? Because you said it earlier, you're thinking for the next 20, 30 years. Like, bullshit is no bullshit. Leadership isn't the only thing. What are you going to do?
So, yes and no.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but I'm going to push back. When it comes to the definition of leadership, I think most of us get it wrong. Okay. So with that, I agree with you. It's not going to fix everything, right? Leadership is essentially service. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Most people focus on lead.
Titles.
Right? I'm leading. I'm the leader. This is leadership. Follow me. And it's Jesus Christ, at no point in his life did he lead. He served. And people volunteered to lead and support him. At no point in time did he sit and say, I'm leading this, or position to say that I'm the leader. At no point. Wow. But he was one of our greatest leaders in history.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, if leaders position to serve, then we do accomplish what we need to accomplish. Okay. But we elect leaders from, oh, it sounds good. This person sounds good, and like, oh, I like this person, so my neighbor liked this person, so I'm going to vote for them. And it's like, look, in the SEAL teams, brother, we had some guys who we didn't want in the front of the train. Great dudes.
Yeah.
Right? They hit the criteria to be Navy SEALs, but at certain times under severe pressure and conflict, we knew what their limitations were, right? They were still useful in certain aspects, but you wanted at the front of the train, you wanted your serious pipe hitters. So it's understanding, like, yeah, but a great guy, bro, you can look after my car, look at my house, like all that stuff. But if I need 4 dudes to go into a hot room or a hot house, I love you, brother, but you're not that one.
How do you distinguish that?
So, but it's just being honest with one, having the humility to receive it.
Yeah, right? That's huge.
So as a leader, I have to have the humility to be ostracized, to be assessed, to be
almost scrutinized.
Scrutinized, for you to come to me and say, hey, Floyd. And we've had these conversations. You're like, hey, bro, I don't like A, B, and C, what's going on over here, or what you're doing. I'm like, Jeff, this is what's up. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. Like, we communicate and you understand why I position the way I position, but that doesn't mean you have to walk away and agree. But it's also too, I need to be humble enough to take that into account. Like, okay, this is where Jeff is at. How does that play into the overarching mission, the overarching goal for that particular topic, right? And then am I saying, you know what, F Jeff, I don't give, whatever, he don't agree with me. Or am I saying, you know what, that's my brother, we just don't see eye to eye on this. We've communicated that, and we move on, right? So that's what leadership is about. It's about, I'm positioning to serve, and I am humble enough to listen to my people, which I've done. Like, I've had as a city council member, there's no one who has walked up to me and have a conversation to say, you know what, Floyd wouldn't talk to me about a certain issue, or I walked away unclear about his position on things. Now, what has occurred is individuals putting stuff out on social media in a negative light about how I voted, right? Yeah. But there's no context to why I voted that way. And when you have the opportunity to communicate with your leaders to figure out like why, and you don't, then it's accountability. So our constituents have an accountability. We have to hold them accountable as well. So it's not just, I'm gonna blindly follow this particular leader, or it's like, well, constituents, I just want you to wholeheartedly agree on everything that I do. I'm accountable to you.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're complaining about me or the way I vote or the way I position, and every 2 weeks you can come and meet me in person and we can have that conversation, and you know that I'm going to be respectful, and I'm not, I'm not, and I'm going to be kind. Now you may walk away and say, hey, I disagree with Floyd, but you won't walk away saying I don't understand his positioning.
Well, and it's clear for the role that you have the goal for, is not everybody's going to agree with you. Your council members, is the constituents, which are the residents, for those who don't know what that means. But the things that you just mentioned, you've kind of opened my eyes to say, yeah, leadership can fix it with the right mindset, servant leadership.
The right definition of, like, because we use these words, transparency, leadership, all these, and it's, first off, before we get into that, please, I want to know what your definition is. Like, if you're going to have a conversation with me, Jeff, buckle in.
It's going to get real,
right? Because as your mayor, it's like, yes, I am positioning to lead in the best way possible. That requires me to be humble enough to listen to you. But when we have a conversation, buckle up, because I may ask difficult questions that you may not be prepared for, right? And these are things that you need to know before you make a definitive answer or take a position on why you don't like why I'm voting this way, right? And that's all about education in the moment. But most of us in that moment, we don't be like, hey, Jeff, you know what? You're right. I got that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We still hold firm. I still don't like what Jeff is saying. And then walk away. It permeates in the brain, our heart. We wake up the next day, next week, next month. You know what?
Builds.
I know exactly what Jeff was saying. I understand him now. That's what most people do. It's not in the moment where you don't like why I'm voting this way. Well, this is why. This is the information I have. Do you have this information? Well, no, I don't. Okay. Is this information impactful to my decision? Well, yes, it is. Okay. Do you still feel the way you do? I sure do. Okay, well, we could agree to disagree, but you do understand why I position this way. Yes, I do. Okay.
It's funny how communication brings things to light, right?
Communication, brother.
Man, it's huge. I mean, I'm a radio operator by trade, man. My whole job was, communication, whether that's localized, distant stations, in the heat of the moment. Like, comms can't go down. And if you apply that to your life, it's the same way, man. You know what I mean? Like, effective communication doesn't always come with a resolve but it will always come with understanding.
Understanding.
If it's a two-way street.
Right. And I've had rude people walk up to me, and I've noticed when I was running for Congress, I'll tell you this story. I was at an event early into my congressional race, and it was crowded, right? So all of a sudden this guy comes in, and you saw the crowd just like part the seas for him, right? And so now I already know within this group or this event or whatever, this has been orchestrated.
You read the room quick.
I completely read the room, right?
Yeah.
Because the sea opened up directly to me, right? Not only that, the guy walked in, he's very confident, right?
Yeah.
And I'm being kind in my description, very confident, walks up to me, almost nose to nose. Why should I vote for you?
Tacked.
Right?
Tacked out the window.
So now, okay, this is where emotional intelligence comes into play.
Yeah, good point.
Right? This is where love and kindness come into play.
Okay.
Right? Because you and I know in our military days,
that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
It's not even a conversation.
No. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have got that close. Right? Especially after reading your body language, knowing that you're here for straight conflict and you don't care what is said or done.
Nothing else.
You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm in a completely different environment, having emotional intelligence to quickly read that.
Well, you had the wherewithal to see it.
So I asked him, I said, well, I'm really open to understand my constituents and what they feel about certain topics. So what exactly would you like to discuss? Right. And he was like,
transition.
And he was like, well, nobody care what I think. Nobody care what the other constituents think. Like tell me, why should I vote for you? And I said, well, I have to disagree. I said, I'm going to be your leader. So in order for me to do that, in order for me to serve you, I have to be open to listening to you and seeing where your head is at. What topic would you like to discuss? Right. And he still held his ground. And I said, okay, so we can agree to disagree. I say, this conversation is done.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone's looking, and he's looking at me, like, excuse me. I said, we have no reason to talk anymore. Like, is there anything else that you have? Right. And now my tone, my body language changes because I've been kind and respectful. You've already told me you didn't want to talk to me at all. No
productive conversation.
Right? You're trying to poke me and intimidate me, and I stood my ground and I was respectful to you. Yeah. Now I'm saying walk away because this is something different now, right?
People push it far, man.
So what does he do? He walks away. A couple weeks later, we run into each other. He looks at me. He kind of laughs. He walks up. We have a conversation. Right? And completely different tone, completely different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let's because I'm here to serve you, man. Like, don't position in the way that you did.
Yeah. You don't always have to assert dominance to make a point, and there's so many other ways. I mean, I think you played, that's a damn good play. I think that's great. I mean, I think a lot of people can learn from that one story. You can just learn a daily interaction right there. You know what I mean?
Well, so here's the thing, and I was taught this, they tried to teach me this when I was a new politician, like the people in the political circle. They're like, well, you have to position a certain way. You can't, challenge constituents, when they're being borderline disrespectful or they're doing things like that. Yeah. And it's because you want their vote. And I said, look, this has never been who I am. I said, I won't be disrespectful to anyone, but I'm not going to allow someone to be blatantly disrespectful to me. So I will engage whoever it is I'm talking to and be kind and let them know this is my line of demarcation.
Yeah.
Right. So,
sure.
but with that, there's nothing but with that, you're safe. We are safe, but I'm just not going to take that tone from you because I don't expect you to take that tone from me.
It's a self-respect
thing,
too.
I'm not going to talk down to you just because I'm in a position of leadership, just because I'm your mayor. Like, you're never going to get that from me. Mm-hmm. However, if you try and disrespect me, like, well, you're my mayor and you should be doing this and that, and you're in my face and you're aggressive and things like that, it's like, okay, well, let's tone it down. Let's bring it back to effectively communicating.
Yeah.
What's really going on? What's the core problem? How can I help you fix it? Because that's my job, right? And it's not leading into whatever it is that's going on with them emotionally or, whatever the case may be. It's really cutting through all that minutia and saying, please tell me what the core is. And I ask pointed questions to do that.
You have to.
Right? But it's done in a kind and respectful manner, right? Or it's like, you know what? I could just see we're not going to get anywhere today. Let's just reconnect tomorrow at a better time.
Yeah.
Right? So you walk away and say, man, I don't want you walking away saying, man, Floyd was disrespectful. Floyd was unkind. Floyd wasn't loving.
Yeah.
Nobody can say that, right?
I've never seen that once from you in 8 or 7 or 8 years. I've not once, and that's not just because you're here.
So what I'm saying to my potential voters or my constituents who I want to lead as mayor is, this is what you're getting, right? Which we don't have right now.
Yeah.
And me being the mayor at the tip of the city spear, this is what I'm going to demand of our leadership team. This is what I'm going to demand of the infrastructure within that is governing on a daily basis, right? So, and it's not going to be tolerated at all. So this is what we're bringing to the table, because everyone should be on the same page and communicating to our constituents as far as just on a human being level.
Yeah,
of
sure.
Of being kind and respectful.
I think from a perspective of, let's just forget that I'm a resident of this city. From a perspective of what I think great leadership looks like, accountability is at the top of my personal list. And I absolutely love that that's embedded in your strategic movement with the city is, hey, this is how we're going to do business. We're going to communicate effectively. We're going to follow the same plan, one team, one mission, however you want to call it. But we're also going to hold you accountable. That's what residents want for any government, whether that's local, federal, state, whatever it is. Look at all the noise you're hearing right now in the world. Where's the accountability? The Epstein files and blah, 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 all this other stuff. It's like, that's the root of what people are looking for in a government, no matter the size.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great thing, man.
And it's even more important. It's equally important with the relationships we're trying to build with entities that want to do business with the city.
Well, I mean, for those who don't know where we live, McLendon, Chisholm, Rockwall County, for the listeners, because, man, I've had people reach out to me from this show from different countries. It's crazy how this stuff spreads. We're one of the fastest growing.
You know who knows about us across the board? Pickleball community.
Oh my God,
bro!
What the hell is pickleball? You play pickleball?
I don't. But don't knock the community.
I will say this: the community is amazing because they did something amazing that I was totally unexpecting for our Toys for Tots program in 2025, and presented us a $4,000 check. You know how many toys that buys kids? That's a giving community. I just thought they were like some hippies playing with freaking big ping pong paddles, but nah. I'll go on record saying, hey, thank you guys, because I had no idea who you were.
We have the second largest pickleball facility in the country.
Right up here?
Yeah.
In the country?
The country.
As
of the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Right. The pickleball community knows McLendon Chisholm.
I'm telling you, dude, they have a tournament going on over there.
It's crazy.
It's popping.
So now we could, I'm gonna just touch
go for it.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Why are we not nurturing that relationship to where we can bring in?
That was going to be my question. So when you say nurturing it from a political standpoint, governmental, city, whatever, the goal is to bring tax dollars into a city.
Revenue.
So you're thinking outside the box with, hey, that's something that could potentially bring revenue into the city.
Absolutely. Why are we? Why don't we have services and facilities to support when
that's the second largest
these
one.
major tournaments come in?
How much money tournaments, no matter what they are, bring in?
So it's that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, look, let's capitalize on it, because
God knows we have enough.
Like, I haven't got on the court to play pickleball to make an assessment. I could like look at it and be like, it's like a step down from tennis, but from those who do play it,
it's huge, dude.
But not only that, like the physicality that's in it,
man.
And I'm like, are you serious? They're like, oh yeah, like it is because you had your lateral movement, I'd be burnt, bro. Your reaction time, like all of that stuff comes into play. I just never knew. I just talked to some of my people who plays it, which I grew respect for the game.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see myself playing it, but at the same time, we have a facility that supports the pickleball community.
So your mindset is looking above and beyond your traditional Pilates, nail salons, donut shops. Like that's what I think the residents would, in my personal opinion, being Rockwall County being one of the most richest counties in Texas, I've always had this thought in my head, like, okay, McLendon Chisholm, it's getting built up. Can't fight the fight. It's coming. You just have to embrace it, right? But why not places like Apple stores, Coach stores, the higher end target market, like a lot of the small businesses in McLendon Chisholm are reaching towards, myself included. My target market is small.
Yes.
Why not bring in businesses that allow for people to come here? I know no one wants to hear that, but if we're gonna put an IKEA in, can we get something over here?
Why not bring in businesses that's going to? So here's a different way to frame it. Why not bring in businesses that's going to prevent our people? I'll even expand a little bit, not only from the city level, but from the county level, to not drive across the bridge because they can't get that service here. Absolutely.
I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to go on record saying this. A lot of Rockwallians are going to hate me for this, but this is an ugly town, bro. It's an ugly town. I tell my wife this because I work all over Dallas, and I have friends all over Dallas, and I'll go to other places. Princeton, did you know it's the fastest growing city in America right now? Princeton, Texas. Someone just told me that. Fact check it. I don't know. I didn't fact check it. But that's my point. You go from all these other towns, and you come back to Rockwall, and you're like, damn, bro, it's an ugly city, man. We need some pretty stuff here. And I'm not talking about the homes. The homes are beautiful.
I have a different...
I'm not a politician, so I can say that.
I mean, neither am I, but I look at it from we're in a perfect place of opportunity.
There's room to beautify this place.
To beautify our city.
Yeah.
Right? For our constituents to be proud of, to build cohesiveness amongst each other.
Yeah.
And also, too, with doing so, we indirectly bleed over into our neighboring cities. We bleed into our county to where they can prosper as well.
Well, it's kind of a lead by example kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a really perfect place of opportunity, but that opportunity is right now. And we're at a tipping point to where we need to have the right people in place in order to execute it. And that's really the core of why I'm running.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because I have one more question to tie all this together. And I'm glad you kind of already did this, but why are you the right leader right now for McLendon Chisholm?
That's still for the voters to decide.
Well, you've clearly identified the things of what you think you're good at.
So exactly. So it'll be.
I love that. I love that answer.
Hold on. It would be arrogant of me.
Yeah.
To say, I'm the right leader because of boom, boom, boom. Right. So and the arrogance is assuming I know who you are Assuming you know what I'm saying? Assuming I know exactly what. Now I will get to know you. I'm going to block walk. I'm going to provide an opportunity for us to talk, and I'm going to build, and I'm going to build off of that, so I can be like, okay, well, percentage wise, our constituents, our residents, they're concerned about this and this and this, but this is how I see myself impacting that. But it's just my responsibility to open an opportunity for you to get to know who I am.
I think that's the perfect answer, dude.
Over the next few weeks, right? So we have an event. We're going to have an event every week, right? I'm going to be block walking.
Yeah.
Right? This is one of 3 podcasts that I have set up over the next 2 months. So if you dive into, I have a website. I have a YouTube page. I have a Facebook page. If you dive into just doing a brief review of Floyd McLendon and who he is, I'm pretty sure you're going to be really happy with what I can do as your mayor, right?
The preparation coming from a guy who is like OCD with my planning and project management and all that, I will tell you, and this isn't just because I love you, but just looking through to prep for the show, dude, the preparation that you've put into it for what some would say is a small thing, a small blip on the radar. No, bro, yours is legit.
Yeah.
It's legit. I said, man, who did his website,
You
bro?
deserve it. Right, you deserve it. The McLendon Chisholm residents, they deserve that.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm asking you to be, I'm asking you to put me in a position to lead you, but yet, I'm not going to put content out in a manner for you to truly understand like who I am. The issues are easy. It's the person that you put in place to execute those issues.
Oh, that's a great way.
The issues are the issues.
Yeah.
And there's no way around it. But do you have someone in place, one that can dissect and one elephant at a time? Okay, this right here, done.
Yeah.
This right here, done. Communicate with this person over here, done. Right. And it's having that ability to do that. Right. I have that ability.
Bring the team together, align the mission, and run towards the fire.
And deal with conflict resolution to where the mission is complete.
Well, I tell you what, man, anyone who listens to this podcast, because it will be, we'll throw it up on YouTube, we'll have it on all of our streaming sites and all that stuff. I think they'll gain, if they listen with an open mind, they'll gain some clarity on who you really are, because I think the most important thing that you just conveyed here to me was when I asked you, why are you the right leader? It says it has nothing to do with you. I mean, that's the kind of leader, humility is at the top of the list. I think it's a great thing, man. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, I tell you, I told you I got your 6, and you've always had mine.
And I have a team.
Yeah.
And I have close friends. I have family who will quickly bring me back down to earth if I ever
need those.
Got above myself.
My wife she is elite level, bring me down to earth kind of gal.
So it's like even if I wanted to get there, I got people that'll yank my chain and be like, hey, you get a little too big for your britches.
You have to have those people in your life, man.
I love having those people there.
So here's a question for you. We'll wrap it up with this question, and this is more of like this is not serious. We'll make sure that we convey the meeting dates, the website information. We'll put all of that together. Election day is May 2nd, just so you guys all know. Campaign's running hot right now for everybody who's running.
Yes, it is.
Right before you walked in, I just had this question pop in my head, and I said, if Floyd could write a letter to the residents of McLendon Chisholm that would go in a time capsule, maybe it's not a letter, maybe it's a statement, maybe it's a, something, put it in a time capsule and open it up in 10 years, what would it say?
Oh, 10-year letter time capsule to our residents.
And it could be a statement, a letter, whatever.
Yes. Over the next 10 years, projected growth, we're looking at about 7,000 plus. So we will definitely double, almost triple that by that time. I would convey my vision in 2026 of where we would be of McLendon Chisholm having a downtown, right, on the stretch of 205, having multiple places where we can come together as a community, and just fellowship, having a sense of pride for where we live, having a sense of pride for who we are, and having have established the foundation of the right leaders that needs to nurture that over the next 10 years.
Love it.
Right. So it would go into detail into, as your mayor of 2026, I'm giving you my vision over the next 10 years, and hopefully we will have accomplished this or even more.
Yeah.
Right.
Set the bar.
Regardless of whoever's in the seat. Right. So it's really setting a foundation of our leadership with the right vision to grow. Because as you stated before, growth is coming. It's not going to stop. So we have to decide together, are we going to fight it and become, and our reputation becomes, hey, you know what? We don't want to work with McLendon Chisholm.
You don't want that.
And but not with the developers, with TxDOT, with services, with the state, right? Because that's where we're headed.
Really?
Absolutely. We're headed to where we're difficult. Like McLendon Chisholm is a difficult city to work with.
I could see that from a resident.
Right? So that's where we're headed with if we continue with the leadership that we have.
I mean, the past chief of fire just stepped away.
Right?
Tells you something.
So because of that, then it's like development will pass us, and we'll be insignificant, not only outside, but internally. We will not have built that family, community, fellowship structure. So what we have right now, if we keep it, that's where we're going. Or this is the vision over the next 10 years with the right leadership that's in place.
Are you willing to share that vision? You have that vision out there?
Absolutely.
Love it. Where can they find it?
I will be sharing that vision.
Oh.
Part of it is on the website, but the next podcast that I'm doing the beginning of next month, it's going to have a very detailed explanation on where that vision is going.
Yeah.
You have to be strategic when you decide to share your
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people to, and it happens in elections where
You're
people are like,
CENTCOM.
I like that. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make it mine.
You're playing CENTCOM right now.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. They're just waiting. Well, what is he gonna say? And I'm like, look, what we've said on this podcast, that's something that that's something that you can't fake. You need experience you need experience. You need education. You need all kinds of things to be what I described.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so you can't fake that. So whoever's listening that wants to try and be an opponent.
Yeah.
I know you don't have that.
Well, no one's ever been on this show intentionally. That's not real. That's why you're here. That's why you were here on the first one. You know what I mean? So, man, I wish you the best of luck. I think anything you need from the people that support you, whether that's bringing you back down to earth or loving you and hugging you and supporting you got it, man. So I hope everything goes the way you have. Just keep us posted on whatever else we can do to help you out here. And appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Truly grateful. Thank you for bringing me onto the platform again.
100%, brother. Yeah. Never out of the fight.
God bless.